Hi, this is Manju Ramanan, and today I have a very special guest with me, and we are sitting on a beautiful apartment near Sheikh Zayed Road. We have Neetu Chandra with us, and what to talk about her? She's versatile. She is a sports champion. She is a producer. She's an actor across how many kinds of films, how many languages. We'll talk to her about it. And of course, the more important thing is she is coming to the UAE to set up base here. So let's ask her what she has to say. Welcome, and how has it been? How's it been here?
Thank you so much for the versatile introduction you just gave, Manju. It's been great actually. I feel a lot of ethnicity and countries are here. Actually, literally an international integration, and the kind of power, positivity, progressiveness I see in UAE is very different than what other the kind of image we carry outside, which is so beautiful. And I think it's time for us to come from outside and take the beauty of UAE across the globe.
Wonderful. I'll start with one question which I'm sure is very close to your heart. You come from Bihar,
Right.
and a lot of Bihar is represented in Bollywood cinema in a very typecast, typical way. And Neetu here wants to question it, redefine it, and change it. So, what is that you're going to do?
Wow. Well, that question definitely is very close to my heart, and I surely see a stereotyping happening in Hindi cinema. But few movies have changed it also. I must mention Super 30 or things like, or a couple of movies like that, who change the image of people coming from Bihar. Because I always had this complaint, and I always used to be, cribbing and complaining, saying that, if any character comes from Bihar, if it is a politician, it has to be a kind of politician. If it's a cop, it has to be a caricature. Or, if a girl comes from there, she can't talk in English or can't talk in Hindi as well properly. If a guy comes from there, the character doesn't know how to carry himself, which is what a couple of movies showed. And all these things, which I personally feel that it's not wrong to as in per se represent some state like that, but it is also not right to not get the right version of it also. So you need to balance in somewhere. Like there's so many times when people straight away say, oh, South Indians. No, there are 4 different states. Everybody has different culture, different music, different language, different food, different clothes. You cannot just say South Indians.
Yeah.
The same way you can't say North Indians. There are different states as well. The same way you cannot say that everybody from Bihar has a typical common image. For example, me or my brother or Rajendra Prasad and Bismillah Khan and teen dharma se aate hain, and a lot of things which I feel. So I've always been requesting, and I can only request because I'm not answerable for what others do, but I'm answerable for what I have to do. And since I'm very proud of my roots, Bihar in India and India outside, I'm very proud of it. So my brother and me, we started a production house called Champaran Talkies. We are the first national awarded producers in the language of Bihar for Bihar ever. I'm just saying, quoting after the independence of India. So that is in Maithili language called Mithila Makhan. This is what we did, and we continue making a lot of projects where we shoot in Bihar, we create jobs in Bihar, we only make high-end content from Bihar in all the 3 languages, Bhojpuri, Maithili, Maghi, so that people see that how we are looking at revolution, we are looking at change, but still it's not charity. It is a hardcore business, and we are looking at, because until there is, Manju, it's a very clear thought process. Unless you make money out of it, you cannot rotate the revenues to make more products. Like,
Right.
How would you do that? That's the idea. So we are trying to change the image and tell you the right image. Yes, there are Bollywood keeps literally getting characters from Bihar in certain ways. Why only Bollywood? All the OTT platforms and all the TV serials, they're literally super hits, and they come from the characters from there, and literally shown in a negative shade, or if they have to have a kind of certain Hindi that has to be certain way, even though it is not certain way, which I think it's always been exaggerated the way you say, because people say, oh, the way Lalu Prasad sir has been talking, that's the way everybody talks in Bihar, but that's not true. That's totally untrue. People talk in different ways in Bihar. And I also feel that we have to respect the languages coming from there, because if once a language dies the whole society. The food, the culture, the tradition, and these are the dying languages of Bihar. People in Bihar, they don't talk in these languages, and it's not their fault, because there is no jobs coming in those languages. For example, if you see Maharashtra or Punjab or South, any of these 4 languages from South India, they have jobs creations in those languages. Whereas in Bihar, these languages, our languages, are not even taught in schools. So why would a parent want their kids to learn those languages? Yes, fair enough. But since that's your identity, you get a job or you not get a job or anything, you must know this as well, because that's your identity. And you never know, the people like us who are trying to make a mark and putting our foot down to make it happen, that yes, you should educate kids in these languages also, like as a third language maybe, and know Hindi, English as well, clearly, because today the world has become very small. It's a global world, and you should know Hindi, English to represent yourself. But when people ask you where you're from, you should be able to talk in these languages.
And as a student, you were, certificates of yours were thrown at you, and then you made a point to your teacher. So tell us about that story.
Well, I always made a point to keep my mother's smile consistent. That was the idea behind everything I've done ever. I was very, very young when my mother literally told me that you do whatever you feel like, and I will always support you and be with you, and I trust you blindly, which is a very scary word. Trust you blindly, oh my God, better be careful. So that is, I started playing a lot of sport in school, and I was 4 years, I was school champion. I kept playing different kinds of sports. Then, when I was in 10th standard, my father met with an accident and was in coma and lost his memory for 2 years, and a lot of mishaps happened with him. But I was a sports girl. I represented India in 9th standard, and I didn't know how to give up, because I was just, as I was telling you, कि आप रोकने को उसी को कह सकते हैं जिसको रोकना आता हो. जिसको रुकना ही नहीं आता हो, उसको कैसे रोका जाए? वो कला ही नहीं आती है, अगर उसको कला कहा जाए तो, या वो चीज़ ही नहीं आती, तो मुझे या तो अब सिखा दें या ना रोके. और मुझे लगता है ना रोके तो अच्छा है, मेरे साथ ही दे दें. So that is what I personally feel. My mother always supported me. After 12th standard, my mother one day got up in the morning, and I come from a middle class joint family from Bihar, and literally everybody stood against me saying, taekwondo nahi karegi, और लड़का जैसा बॉडी हो जाएगा, and she will be muscular, and she will not be, nobody will marry her, and she'll become boyish हो जाएगी, tomboy हो जाएगी, and all of these things. Please look at me. From nowhere, I think I'm a tomboy. But yes, and I'm a black belt 4 Dan in taekwondo and represented India 3 times. But my mother got up one day after my 12th standard results, and she said, ये लो 500 रुपया और ट्रेन पकड़ के दिल्ली चली जाओ तुम, वहाँ पे मौसा जी मिलेंगे, he'll take you to the college. I said, क्या हो रहा है मेरी जिंदगी के साथ? But
you followed her.
I only follow my mother. She is my superstar. She is my superwoman. And my mother comes from a very small place and from UP. And she was married when she was 15, 16. I think she was living her life through me. And maybe she had thought of running away and all of those things. But I didn't have the guts to leave my mother to run away. When
she asked you to.
She made me run away. And luckily it was not with a guy, which is what happened most of the time. So that's a joke. Please don't take it seriously. So my mother said that take this and you go. And I literally took the train, which was Shramjeevi at 11:20 in the morning, to Delhi, and there I met my Poopaji. He took me to the college. I I didn't know, I was taking admission in sports quota because I represented India and I wanted the hostel. So she said, oh, you need the certificate. And I was like, I'm not carrying my certificate. She's like, you just have 2 days. The same day, I took Magad, a train which is at 6:30 in the evening from Delhi to Patna back. And then picked up my certificate, and then same train Sanjeevi again at 11:20. I took it back to went back to Delhi and showed my certificate. I got my admission, but she did not give me hostel. And that was Mrs. Bedi. So Mrs. Bedi, I don't know what was. It's not her fault also, because the image of Bihar as per se is that, you know, a lot of corruption is there, a lot of cheating is there. But I would just want to correct everyone in the world that everything is everywhere. You cannot say 100% that this place is really bad and everybody is really corrupt.
So she threw the certificates at you saying that they're fake?
Yeah, I showed the certificate and I said, ma'am, this is my certificate, and I had 350 certificates, and she threw it on me and she said, you know, Bihar mein certificates so aise bikte hain. So I was very surprised, because a chota bacha, 16, 17 years ka bacha who doesn't know what does that mean, because every certificate had a story, and my hard work and my sweat and blood in the certificates to earn those certificates, and most of them were gold medals. Out of 350 certificates, I can promise you 320 must be gold medals. And I looked at her face and I was like, why would she say that? Why? Because I had not gone out from Bihar so much, so I didn't know that why people from outside say that वहाँ तो बिकते हैं, क्योंकि मैं तो बहुत, because I earned it and I worked so hard that I remember while doing taekwondo I also had blisters in my feet, but I kept doing it because I had to play in India and I had to play in nationals. And I was like, no, there's no way out. I used to only spar with guys so that I can better myself.
And your basketball team also, and you're the only girl in your team.
Yeah, and out of the 10 players in basketball court, then 9 were boys and 1 girl you will see was me. So these were the kind of things were happening, and then I looked at her face and I was like, why would she do that? And I didn't understand, but then I understood the meaning of getting the smile on my mother's face would only happen if I took the admission there, right? So she said, you can migrate anywhere you want, you will not get the hostel here. I was like, okay. And then there's 3 months they give you
in the train.
Yeah. Then 6 o'clock in the morning I used to go to the court. 8:35 was my classes. All this time I'll train, and then evening after the college I'll train. In 3 months time there was 6 colleges.
Wow, who were running after you?
Who were running after me to migrate to their
college.
Their college with hostel and all the facilities possible, and even to the extent that even in the canteen I would get free food.
Wow.
Because as a student, free food and all very important,
yes.
right? You know, and especially sports people eat a lot. I used to eat a lot. Like, I will eat, and 5 more friends will eat because they're all sports girls, right?
Yeah.
They will eat. So this was women's college and it was the college, and then.
So you proved a point without saying anything.
I didn't say anything, and there were only 2 days left for migration. So I went with 6 certificates to her and I said, ma'am, you know,
I have choices.
You told me I should migrate, so please sign it. I'll come tomorrow morning and take the certificate, take the forms. I looked at her face for 5 seconds. She looked at me for 5 seconds, and I literally 5 seconds like a big time if you think about it.
Yeah.
Without talking anything, just look at 5 seconds. Like what the hell is going on? So next day morning I came to college, because you know I did not have that much of money that I could take big places outside to, you know, stay for 3 years. I couldn't even stay for 3 months, and I lived in a very small mezzanine. You know, when you go on stairs in apartments, in the corners they have like
a small room,
a hole in the wall kind of a room where you can just keep 2 suitcases and a bed and all of it. And you know, I was even I managed there because most time I was in the college and I was eating only for sleeping. I used to come back. But then that day, what happened? Next day when I came to the college, I saw Neetu Chandra 6B room number.
So you've been allowed to the room. You earned your own.
Yeah, I looked at that. Then I was like, and I didn't smile nothing, because I knew before when I went to give the form to her, I looked at her face and I knew that tomorrow my room will be with me. Yes. I knew that. So I looked at the room number. I was just concerned that what's the direction to go to that room, 6B.
And so tell me about your first. How did Bollywood happen?
Oh wow, that's a good story too. So anyway, yeah. So that was my story of how I got the college, and then I was Miss Fresher, Miss Hostel, Miss College, Miss. Thank God didn't become Miss India, Miss School, Miss 10th Standard. So all of it I was getting, and I also got an award from Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji in college as Best Student of the Year. That was my college life.
So you are the original student of the year.
Yes, I was the original student of the year. Which bhi nahi bana rahe. But my brother has a story on me, and which we will make it called Ladaku.
Okay.
Change the definition in a positive light. So my Bollywood movies. So I was in college, and I used to support my education. I used to throw pamphlets in Pragati Maidan and become host for different functions for exhibitions and all at Pragati Maidan. And I would just want that much of money as a mess fees, or my brother's college fees or mess fees, and that's all we used to do. My brother also used to take tuitions of his own classmates because he was such a genius, and today he's a national award writer director from Bihar, and only one in the languages of Bihar, so I'm very proud of him as well. My younger brother is also creative consultant. He's also worked very hard to be where he is today. So in the college, when I was in first year, when I was in Bihar, coming back to, used to play a lot of sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
After a point, I thought, it's so saturated.
Who will I?
Yeah, जो भी मेरे साथ खेलता हार जाता है. What will I do आगे जाके? This is exactly what happened when I started playing in college. Like I became the champion. I got the award from Atul Bihari. I was like, so saturated. I want to do more. Like, कहाँ जाऊँ मैं, क्या करूँ and all. And that time was the time when I was in Pragati Maidan, and Dibakar Banerjee, Oi Lucky Oi director, who was a very dear friend of mine, he and his wife Richa. He was doing an audition for Alvin Refrigerator. There were 4 girls behind Vinay Pathak, and I only did it because I was getting money, and my mess fees was left, and my college fees I had to pay. Simple. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. And then I saw Vinay Pathak because he was from Bihar, so I was like, आप बिहार से ना, हम भी बिहार से हैं, और ये, and he was very happy to me seeing talking so bug, and he was like, तुम्हारा चेहरा बहुत अच्छा है, you know, you should try to come to Bombay. And that was the first time I was like, Bombay, क्योंकि दिल्ली, बिहार से लोग जनरली दिल्ली जाते हैं, बॉम्बे तक नहीं जाते, बॉम्बे थोड़ा दूर पड़ता है, तो स्टूडेंट्स खासकर. So that happened, and then at the same time, in 2 days time, Madhu Sarkar, Pradeep Sarkar's sister, saw me in Pragati Maidan. I was a host or something. So she looked at me, and she's a sweetheart. She looked at me, she was smiling as a host. अच्छा तुम क्या करती हो? तो मैं बनफूल तेल था पहले, उसका होस्ट थी. मैंने बोला मेरे बालों में तेल लगते हैं और ऐसे होते. बोला अच्छा और क्या होता है? मैंने कहा आप ये लगाएंगी ना तेल, आपके जो बाल है ना बहुत. तो ऐसे किया उन्होंने, उनके बाल ही इतने सुंदर थे. फिर शी हरसेल्फ वाज अ बंगाली. हम बोले आपके तो बाल पहले से सुंदर है. बोले अब तो बनफूल तेल काम नहीं करेगा. मैंने कहा कर सकता है, अगर आप किसी अलग अलग जगह जाएं तो बाल गिर सकते हैं, इससे आप बचा लीजिएगा. तो शी इज लाइक अरे तुम तो अच्छा डिस्क्रिप्शन ले लेती हो. मैंने कहा मुझे बोला गया ऐसे बोलने के लिए, इसलिए मैं बोल रही. तो फिर उन्होंने मुझे बोला कि मैं एक ऐड कर रही हूँ लिबर्टी फुटवेयर का, अगर तुम्हें जो बोला जाएगा तुम कर लोगी. मैंने कहा हाँ हाँ बताइए क्या करना है, लेकिन मुझे मॉडलिंग नहीं आता है. तो इट्स लाइक मॉडलिंग नहीं करना है, जैसे तुमने अभी मुझे ये समझाया ऐसे तुम्हें समझाना होगा. मैंने कहा ठीक है. तो फिर मैं जब वहाँ गई तो फिर पता चला वो म्यूजिकल हो गया. बोले अब तुमको समझाना भी नहीं है, जैसे तुम चप्पल और सैंडल्स घर पे पहनती हो तुम ऐसे पहन के सिर्फ स्माइल करते रहना. तो शी रियली लाइक माई स्माइल. आई वाज लाइक ओके, I was literally smiling. That's how that happened. And then I told my mother, I want to go to Bombay and do more of these ads. I love it. My mother is like, school में तुमने dancing किया, theatre करती रही, one act play करती रही. I realized that God has actually made me a cutout of being a actor. You know, I was training into sports, dance, all the things which is required. Which is required actually. And at the same time, when fighting with my father's all these miseries happening, so that kept me very grounded to run from one medical shop to another medical. दवा लाना है, डॉक्टर को बुलाना है, ये करो वो कर, वो सब भी होता रहता था. तो ऐसे नहीं कि सर पे चढ़ते रहते थे हम लोग, हमेशा जमीन पे खड़े रहना, सिखा ही दिया है हम लोगों को ऊपर वाले ने, और वैसे ही अच्छा रहता है. आई थिंक आफ्टर कोविड वी हैव ऑल अंडरस्टूड दैट. So that happened, and then I went to Mumbai, and then I didn't know even one person. I used to I have lived for 15 days in a Maruti van.
Really?
Yes, because there was no place, and people used to think a girl coming from Bihar वो कट्टा लेके घूमती होगी, when आ जाएगी तो निकलेगी नहीं. So all these things happened. There was no place I was given, and
how did you live in a Maruti?
So I enrolled myself in Kishore Namit acting school. There was a friend called Dev Chauhan there. उसकी जो friends थी वो मेरी दोस्त थी. So वो 3-4 लड़के एक साथ रहते थे, तो और A1 bedroom hall में रहते, तो I couldn't stay there.
Yeah.
तो मैंने सब लोग घर ढूंढ रहे थे सब कुछ, एंड मेरे पास सर्टेन बजट था रहने के, तो उतना पैसा नहीं था कि मैं बहुत ढूंढ के रह सकती थी. तो मैंने उनको बोला कि उसका रेड कलर मरून कलर का मारुति वैन था, तो मैंने बोला कि देव कैन यू लेट मी लिव इन मारुति वैन. इट्स लाइक तुम पागल हो क्या, तुम्हारा दिमाग खराब है क्या, मारुति वैन में कौन रहता है. मैंने कहा मैं यार कहीं भी रह लूँगी, सोने से ही मतलब है, मतलब. तो ही इज़ लाफिंग एट मी, एंड मैं सीरियस थी, तो उसने बोला तुम सीरियसली कह रही हो. मैंने कहा हाँ. तो पीछे सामान रख देती थी, और क्योंकि मैं लंबी थी तो मैं पीछे की सीट पर बैठ के ना ऐसे पैर रखती थी ताकि मैं टेढ़ा, ताकि ना मैं सो सकूँ. और कभी कभी ना क्योंकि मैं फ्लेक्सिबल हूँ मार्शल आर्ट्स के, तो मैं आगे वाली सीट के नीज ऐसे रख देती थी. तो पीछे करके नीज रखी तो फोल्ड हो जाता है. तो ऐसे मैं सोती थी, फिर सुबह उठ के.
कितने महीने के?
नहीं महीने तो नहीं लगे, थैंक गॉड. 15-20 दिन ही रही थी वैसे, लेकिन वो 15-20 दिन मतलब 2-3 weeks when I stayed like that, it was tough to stay like that. But मेरे साथ एक चीज़ देखा मैंने कि जो करना है वो करना है, मतलब I don't know how not to do it when
you have an opportunity, you'll do it. You'll find the means to do it.
I always feel that I'm still breathing ना. मैं सांस तो ले रही हूँ, तो मैं कोशिश किए बिना कैसे बोल सकती हूँ कि नहीं हुआ. और मैंने जितनी टाइम भी कोशिश किया, I'll tell you 95% या 99% टाइम हो गया चीज़ों. So क्योंकि तुमने बहुत लोग ना कहते कि अरे नहीं यार मे बी नहीं हो पाएगा, तो मुझे लगता है कि मेरे डिक्शनरी में नहीं, ना, आई एम नॉट श्योर, मे बी, हाँ है ही नहीं. How do you say that when you're still breathing? Isn't that the base of your life system? लाइफ सिस्टम का बेस ही सांस लेना है. और मैं जब एकदम सही सांस ले पा रही हूँ, और कितने सारे लोग हैं कितने सारे डिजीजेस से और ट्रीटमेंट से जूझ रहे हैं और सांस नहीं ले पाते हैं, और फिर भी कोशिश कर रहे होते हैं ज़िंदगी जीने की. मैं तो जी रही हूँ. इससे बड़ी पावर क्या हो सकती है कि आप जी रहे हैं और आप सांस ले रहे हैं, और फिर भी आप कह रहे हैं कि मे बी, आई एम नॉट श्योर. वो मुझे तो नहीं आता, इसलिए मैं वो करती रही. और फिर मुझे किशोर नवीन सर ने बोला कि भाई तुम पैसे नहीं दे सकती हो तो तुमको तो जाना पड़ेगा. तो मुझे भगा दिया गया था वहाँ से. Later I went as a lecturer there, as a star guest there. I honored his words by going there back. But all these things happened, and then I was doing ad commercials, right? So प्रियदर्शन सर का ad था अमिताभ बच्चन सर के साथ पार्कर पेन का. And I was doing that. So जैसे स्कूल में if I would enter a sport, people will walk out. उस गेम्स को उस स्पोर्ट को उस गेम को छोड़ देते थे. तो इसलिए कि ये जब आई है ना तो यही जीतेगी, इससे दूसरा गेम ज्वाइन कर लेते हैं. उसी तरह से मैंने एक टाइम ऐसा आया था जब मैं किसी भी ऑडिशन में वॉक इन करती थी ना, तो आधे से ज़्यादा लोग निकल के चले जाते थे, क्योंकि उसको पता था कि यही लेगी. And there was a time नैना को करना हो इम्प्रेस तो खाओ मिंटू फ्रेश या जवाने जाने मन मैक lubricant ad. Those kind of ads were super duper hit. And Priyadarshan sir gave me Parker pen. Amitabh Bachchan's, which was with Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, the legend, the Mr. Big B. I was so fortunate to have a commercial with him, and so I later did a film also with him, which Ram Gopal Verma sir directed. And so Priyadarshan sir's that ad. It was a very funny incident that I was right in front of the screen, and on the monitor he must be looking at me, and he said, "You know, Nitu, your eyes talk." And I was like, "What does that mean? Did I do anything wrong?" And then he said, "You don't have a dialogue, so just move out of the monitor." I'm like, "What does that mean now?" And I was like, "Yeah, sir, okay, sir, yes." I said, "Just move out." And he called me. He said, "Come here." this is the monitor, this is what happens, this is an analyst, explain me everything. I said, okay. And he said, you definitely can talk with your eyes. Because I had no dialogues, right? So I was like looking at him and it's like, wow. And then all these things happened, and 3 days time, Priyanka called me. He said, I'm your director, Priyan. I said, who is my director, Priyan? Because you can't think of Priyadarshan sir calling you, right? It's like a little bacha. Priyadarshan sir calling me, like, what? Sir, who? He said, your director, you just shot with me, remember? I was like, that authority voice. I was like, oh my god. Yes sir, how are you doing sir? What happened sir? Did I do anything wrong? Should I come back to the shoot? What do I do? He's like, hold on. I'm doing a film. You want to do a film? So I was just thinking how much money I'll get so that I can pay my rent and my food. You know, think of it as a student, what do you think? And I was in my second year of college, so I was studying also, I was doing all these things. And I've been a very funny person generally. In general, I'm a happy person in a funny way. Don't tell anyone. So I said, yes sir, I'll do it. He said, so in how much time you can come to Venus studio, office. So Ratan Jain was my producer. I was like, sir, I just come. I said, wearing jeans, just come, means jeans t-shirt. I just went and I was like, sir, what film is it? He said, this is Garam Masala, they're launching 3 girls and you're the first one. So we will audition for 2 more girls. So I was not auditioned for that because I've already done an ad with him. So he offered me that film. And that happened.
You worked with Akshay Kumar and John.
And I didn't know that there's Akshay Kumar and John Abraham in that movie. Okay? So I signed the movie and I took a check which said 3 lakhs. It's like 3 lakhs? Wait, hold on. So 10,000 का rent आएगा तो 10,000 into 1 साल का तो rent हो गया. उसके पहले मैं पैसा रख देती हूँ खाने के लिए. Like, oh sorted. तो 1 साल का तो मेरा rent हो गया ना. सब मैंने कर लिया और मैं चली गई. मैंने पूछा नहीं कुछ भी आगे. प्रियंका सर डायरेक्टर है क्यों कौन पूछेगा उनसे भाई. So we respected Priyanka so much and he was launching me, right? So see, बिहार की लड़कियाँ कभी भी film नहीं करती हैं. You see, I come from a place where girls don't dream of becoming actors or sports girls, and I was both. So I was just going with the flow of life. My mother said, just go, just open your arms, keep thanking God and saying that thank you, I've got this, I've got that. I kept thanking God and saying, yeah, I've got this.
Yeah.
So I went back and then everybody asked, hero कौन है तुम्हारे film में? Hero कौन? I said, sir, मुझे नहीं पता. तो हीरो ही नहीं पता. और उस टाइम I'm talking about 15 years back जब हीरो आज भी फीमेल ओरिएंटेड फिल्म से बनती फिर भी लोग पूछते हीरो कौन है, राइट? उस वक्त तो हीरो ही पूछते थे और कोई तो पूछते भी नहीं कि कौन और है. So I was like, oh shit, I'm like, oh my god, what do I do now? फिर I called up Prince. I said, can I, sir, so who is the hero in the film? Oh, you never asked me, huh? Okay. We got Akshay Kumar. The moment he said Akshay Kumar, no, मेरे दिमाग में चलने लगा. चुरा के दिल मेरा गोरिया चलियो. स्कूल में देखा था, right? So I was like, wow, Akshay Kumar, huh? But like, hold on. Not only one hero, you have John Abraham also. फिर then I remembered the जिस्म का पूरा वो गाना जाना. एक तो अक्षय कुमार, फिर से John Abraham, and then he said, and also, and I passed him on the and you have Paresh Rai also. But you have also have, you know, Rajpal Yadav, and you have Manoj Joshi. It's like, who is left? Oh, you also have Rimi Sen in the movie. And yeah, I think Neha Dupre is coming for one song. And yeah. Oh, you have Israni ji also. It's like, is that my lunch? So I was like, where will I be seen in that? Then later he auditioned for 2 more girls. And we, Daisy, Rupanna, Nargis, and me. We 3 were launched in Garam Masala. And first time I ever saw Akshay sir turning and giving a dialogue, I blanked out totally. No, you can't be coming out of the TV and standing right in front of
I've only seen you on
TV. Yes. Because बिहार में ना अच्छे फैमिली से लोग लेकर नहीं जाते थे हॉल में देखने के लिए. तो मैंने कभी भी फिल्में हॉल में नहीं देखी थी जब तक मैंने खुद ही नहीं की थी. तो या दिल्ली में जाके देखी थी. That's what how I got my first
debut
of Bollywood.
And then, of course, you didn't stop. As you said, you're unstoppable. So you didn't stop with Bollywood. You went on to do a lot of South Indian cinema.
Right.
And now you've also done a Hollywood film.
Yes.
And films.
Films,
say.
yes.
And not just that, you are also producing films.
Yes.
So first tell me about your Hollywood debut, and then we talk about your work in this part of the world. What are you doing here?
Before that, I would like to tell you about my South Indian films.
Yeah.
I have done films in Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, and I'm just starting my first Malayalam film. So that is I'm very excited about. And Tamil is not like small things I've done. I've done films like Singham 3 with Surya, doing a song, Arya, launched with Madhavan in Yavram Nallam, Tira Devilati Pillai with Vishal. And I also got the Best Actors Award in a negative role in Saima, where 4 nominations were there, out of which 3 were men and 1 was a female, and I got it. Yes, so I just kept replicating. I kept replicating every position. That's all I was doing. I was like, yeah, all right, got it. So that is what happened, and I'm very, very proud of all my South films and my North Hindi films as well. I'm producing films from my hometown, my state, all the 3 languages. But coming to Hollywood there was a time when I was feeling very. I was running to get all the best scripts, and either the scripts were written around people and they have their team to write it, which I never had a strong team on that, or it was just like destiny that I did not get those films, especially as martial arts. So I always wanted to do action movies, and since India doesn't produce so many action films as far as female actions are concerned, I was, looking out for. So I met a couple of people. I was talking to Anurag Kashyap and I said, I'm looking for films everywhere in the world. So he said there's a Greek film, people are looking for an Indian goddess. I said, Indian goddess? I'm looking for a martial arts film. So he's like, at least meet the director. So I have also done a Greek film called Block 12. It's online, I'm sure. And then in that whole process, in 2017, I just happened to get to LA, and there I started meeting people. They said you need an O1 visa. O1 visa, if you Google O1 visa, it says visa to an extraordinary achiever in talent. Okay. This is what US government offers you, and in 3 months' time, I got that visa. Yes, I got that visa. In 2018, I went to LA like I set up all my stuff, got my license, did everything possible, and in 2019 November there was a special screening of a movie of Will Smith called Bad Boys. When I entered the theater, they were like, wow, you've got great skin type, because everybody was thin, fair, blonde hair, blue eyes, and the typical how we look at wow. But for them, the wow factor was us, because very oriental and exotic, sun-kissed, sun-tanned skin, and I started loving my skin even more after their complimenting me on that. So I entered the hall. My best friend is Rita Harris. She's 84 years of age. She's a Brit American, and she's lovely. And I learned so much from her. So she said, everybody's looking at you. I'm like, why? She's like, because you're a foreigner and a unique foreigner. And she has a style of talking, and I just really like her. So I was like, oh wow, I'm unique and a foreigner. Because it's the other way around, you see it, right? That happened, and then David Zalon, the producer of the movie, he saw me and we started talking, and he said, what do you do? I said, I'm an actor and I do a lot of the things. Oh, he said, oh, we do action movies. And then my ears were like, what? Action? He's like, yeah, we do action films. I've got the franchise of Never Back Down. I said, oh, that's a male action movie, right? He said, no, this time we're looking at female action of Never Back Down franchise. It's the 4th part of Never Back Down. I said, great. What are we looking at? He said, well, apart from acting, we're looking at other skills as well. I said, so I have the best skills in the world. He said, I was just laughing, and I think I'm the kind of positive person I am. Sometimes I feel I also intimidate people with my confidence, but I am not against anyone. I'm in just my favor. Yeah. So in that way, I told David, I'm a black belt 4 dan in Taekwondo. I've represented my country 3 times and I'm very good. And he's like, so much confidence. I said, yes, sir, and you won't regret. And that was the point. He said, will you come back to meet my writer day after tomorrow for let's have a conversation, let's chat, let's meet up and talk. I said, okay. Audrey is the writer of the movie. So we went to the same place, Sony Studios, and I met Audrey. David was there. By the end of the lunch meeting, David asked Audrey to write and design a character around me, around Nitu and her skills, and it has to be one of the main leads.
Wow.
And she wrote Jaya.
Wow.
And that's Never Back Down Revolt. Jaya is one of the main leads, and it's out on Amazon Prime in India and on US, Netflix, Apple TV all over the world, Book My Show, everywhere online. I'm sure you guys can watch it. And I did all my action myself in the movie. It was 1 degrees in London, bare feet for almost a month and a half. I shot that film, and there was no dupe used for me, and I'm very proud of that I could finally do what I had always thought of, because I was manifesting. I was manifesting without any greed, any cheat, any selfish motive. Just wanted to be an ideal icon for people who don't come from anywhere and decide to do something and can do it if you decide to just go all the way.
Wonderful. What an inspiring story this is.
Thank you so much.
And then your production.
So I have a production house called Champaran Talkies. My brother Neetu Chandra and me, we own it together. But I'll tell you, this seed was sowed by my brother. He studied filmmaking from Pune University, top the university. Studied from Toronto Film School, assisted Dibakar Banerjee, Neetu Chandra, many more. He could have easily done Hindi films, but he decided to do this revolution of doing films from our state. More than 250 million people talk in the languages of Bhojpuri, Maithili, Maghi, but there are no movies or the contents on the basis of great content. There is hardly anything. So we decided 12 years back that we start this production house and make films. We shoot in Bihar. We get theatre artists from Bihar who've been doing theatre for 30 years and never been a part of
Bollywood.
no, even small screen anywhere.
Okay.
Anywhere, yeah. Television or movies or anything. Just done theatre. So we cast them. We get transport from there. We do catering from there. Lights, camera, assistants. We create jobs every time. This is what we're trying to do in Bihar, and in the languages. And we release it with the English subtitles, so that we can cater to the world. Revenues rotate. And we can, with those revenues, we can rotate and get more products, right? So we have more than 80 contents. We have more than 80 contents, 80 plus contents on their music videos, short films, and 3 full-fledged films as well. That is the idea. Our channel is Bejod, Bejod. It's free of cost. Please subscribe it, because we want the world to know that in Bihar is looking for revolution and change. More people will look at it. More people will know that this is the kind of content that the world will get from Bihar. And in the future, in the near future, I am looking at launching an OTT platform in the languages of Bihar. For example, like a Netflix of the languages of Bihar, or Amazon Prime languages of Bihar, all the 3 languages. And I think the business would be great, since there are 250 million people talking in these languages. And I always say, if we watch Majid Majidi's films and Korean and Japanese films with English subtitles, if our product is good, that everybody will watch. Why only people from Bihar? People from India and non-Indians as well.
And local is global today.
Yeah, and today I always say, more rooted you are, more global you will be. So I'm not a threat. I just come with my set of ethnicity and roots and language and culture, tradition, and I think I'm very, very proud from where I come, and that is where till the time I am there in this world, I will keep making films from Bihar as well.
And your Abu Dhabi chapter. You're
Yes.
starting some.
So my production house name is Champaran Talkies in India, but I have just launched my production house. We're working on it right now, called Champaran Talkies Films. we will produce films, uh, global films in UAE, taking UAE, Abu Dhabi especially. We are working with Abu Dhabi Film Commission to take it further in to the world. And I think the Abu Dhabi government has extended great support and incentives to come and shoot here, like for example Mission Impossible and a lot of other films were shot here. So why not? And I think I'm looking at all women team. I'm looking at telling stories and narrating all the great personalities and inspirational stories of people from different parts of the world, especially women from different parts of the world, different parts of UAE, Middle East, Saudi, India, everywhere, where we can tell stories and inspire people more and more. Today I think it's all about how men and women together progress in society and stand with each other. We need more male feminists, and I think I am getting all of these people at every step.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. What an inspiring person, what an inspiring interview, and I'm sure there is so much to her which we'll unravel, we'll see as we go past.
Yes.
I'm sure the next interview will be probably in Abu Dhabi or somewhere else.
That'll be great. Yeah, I know. That'll be great.
Good luck and lovely, lovely speaking.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.